How did we go from this to this?
Effortlessly across the as if beneath the surface. But it's a whole different story. Its legs are moving like it's pedaling.
The bonus Zombies mode in earlier Call of Duty titles was at first just that, a bonus mode. Quickly, however, due to its explosion in popularity, it became a staple, an expectation. In total, we have seen 8 separate zombie modes in Call of Duty games, 3 of which were not developed by Treyarch. Up until Black Ops 4, Treyarch had kept continuing along with the same storyline for their Zombies mode, following, mostly, the same characters on a particular mission. Then in Black Ops 4, we were introduced to the brand new Chaos storyline. It was completely separate from the Aether storyline, as it has now been coined. With the new direction that Black Ops Cold War Zombies is taking, it is clear that Treyarch is finally committed to distancing their new titles from the Aether story. I see this as a very positive change, and in this video, I will explain why. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the Aether era of zombies. It's my personal favorite, and I will forever cherish characters like those in the Ultimates crew. Of course I miss killing waves of the undead horde while hearing their comedic lines. But as the Vision once said in Avengers Age of Ultron,
"But a thing isn't beautiful because it lasts."
While the characters and the maps were the best, both in aesthetic and design, the story that delivers the context for each of those elements lasted far too long. We started with rough traces of this grand storyline in World at War. All we got were character bios and some audio recordings placed around the maps. Nothing too complicated. Then, in the first Black Ops, we received a full narrative with each map. It got progressively deeper, too. This is also where we were introduced to the first Easter egg, as players have come to call it. The Easter egg is what became the main story. As any COD Zombies fan knows, there are 2 ways to play. Go for high rounds and just survive as long as you can, or complete all the steps of the Easter egg and experience the narrative. This is where many differ. There are plenty of players who couldn't care less about the context surrounding the maps and just play for the endless waves. But for those of us who followed the story the whole way, or even the poor souls who try to catch up in retrospect, it has been quite an exhaustive journey. To put it simply, the Aether story is a mess. By the end of Black Ops 2, it was already dealing with the multiverse and several different dimensions. Younger versions of the characters we had been consistently following were implemented and became the main focus for both Black Ops 3 and 4. After almost each Black Ops game, the storyline had the potential to be over. The finale for Black Ops 2 Zombies was our main Victus crew either saving or dooming the world, depending on the player's choices. It concluded the story all the way from World at War, but then Origins threw that for a loop. The finale for Black Ops 3 was a revelation that the entire storyline was a time loop and would continue to repeat in a cycle forever. Finally, the legitimate finale in Black Ops 4 was our younger Primus crew breaking that cycle and resetting the entire multiverse? All of this was such a drawn-out and convoluted web of timelines and alternate dimensions. The complications of the story grew so much, in fact, that each newly released map became a quest for the lore followers to piece how that map fits into the grander picture. The sheer amount of Aether-related storyline videos that exist on YouTube is enough to feel drastically overwhelmed by the complexities and intricacies of this game mode. I want to make clear I am not advocating that the gameplay suffered from this ordeal. Black Ops through Black Ops 3 contained consistently fun and well-designed gameplay. World at War mostly was, but there exists some mechanics that just don't hold up today. Black Ops 4 completely changed the gameplay, so that was not at all consistent, and many would say it even ruined the mode. In short, the gameplay has pretty much remained stellar, and it's obviously the main reason people play. The story, however, only became messier. This series is a classic example of what I call know when to end. This is most frequent in television shows, where a show becomes incredibly popular, so the creators continue to shell out more seasons even though they're running out of ideas. As a result, the later seasons are of progressively worse quality. This happens in movies and video games alike as well. The Aether story is no exception. Because of Call of Duty's annual release schedule, a new game in the franchise has to come out every single year. This means that the games are constantly being developed, and that is also why Activision has more than one studio making them. Well, each year it becomes a question of what the next game will be like. Treyarch couldn't really plan that their next game would be another Black Ops entry. And they couldn't plan that their next title wouldn't be another Black Ops entry. In essence, to end the story or not was always up in the air. This was the main part of the problem. The developers at Treyarch would have to reopen a narrative after each finale, thus never getting a solid beginning, middle, and end. This essentially forced them to introduce concepts like the multiverse just to compensate for the continuation of an already complete story. Something that makes this worse is that we have actually been able to see Treyarch's full potential with a concise story in Zombies. Mob of the Dead was its own pocket universe with a self-contained storyline that ended up being fascinating. That single map had such a beautiful and compelling narrative, and it was entirely separate from the rest of the games. Clearly, the uncertainty in the annual release schedule was the most significant factor for the ridiculously complex Aether story. Like the final scene in the Call of Duty Ghosts campaign proves, sometimes developers are told to drop their next projects and start something new. This has the potential to ruin endings, or never include them in the first place. It's a bitter truth, knowing that good content must end before it goes on too long and destroys itself. When a movie, TV show, or video game is good, it makes complete sense we want more of it. But all too often, that leads to worse iterations and a disappointed or even angry audience. More writers need to understand when to end a story to prevent the frequently true stereotype of bad sequels. I will continue to thoroughly enjoy the gameplay of these old Zombies maps, and it will forever be my favorite game mode in the Black Ops series. I will continue to cherish these characters and have fun experiencing the game through their perspective. But I will always remember the Aether plot as the messiest and most unnecessarily convoluted story I've ever heard.
The staffs of the ancients were lost, but Father made copies. You can find them. You can get me out. You can open the gateway to Agartha.
Yeah. Shut up, Samantha. I know you're trapped in Agartha or whatever, but I'm trying to upgrade my ice staff. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. I seriously appreciate every single one of you. Feel free to leave a comment to keep the conversation going, leave a like if you liked what you saw, and subscribe if you're a fan. For more content, follow me both on Twitch and Twitter. To support me, become a patron. It really helps me out and provides me the ability for more quality videos. And the biggest thing, join the community Discord. It's a great place to hang out and discuss media. We even hold recorded debates. Links to everything I mentioned are in the description of this video. I hope your day is spectacular. Until next time, hobos.